Have you ever looked around and realized you don't really have friends? Not acquaintances. Not people who just react to your posts, but real friends. And sometimes that thought makes you wonder, is something wrong with me? Society makes us believe that if someone doesn't have a big circle of friends, they must be lonely, broken, antisocial, or strange. But psychology says something very different. In fact, many people who have few or no friends aren't failures at social life. Their mind simply works differently. And if you've gone through long periods without friends, there are deep psychological reasons behind it. Let's talk about them. 1. You have zero tolerance for fake people. One thing psychology has discovered is this. The more self-aware someone becomes, the less patience they have for fake personalities. You start noticing things other people ignore. The forced smiles, the hidden jealousy, the fake compliments, the gossip happening the moment someone leaves the room. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Suddenly, normal social environments feel exhausting. Because you're not just hearing words, you're reading intentions. You can sense manipulation. You notice when someone is pretending. And instead of playing along, you quietly step away. Not because you're antisocial, but because your peace is more valuable than fake company. You'd rather sit alone in silence than sit in a room full of people pretending to like each other. 2. You prefer depth over quantity. Most social circles are built on small talk. How's the weather? How was your weekend? Did you see that post? But for some minds, those conversations feel empty. Psychology shows that people with deeper thinking patterns crave meaningful conversations. They want to talk about ideas, about human behavior, about psychology, about life, purpose, emotions, and the hidden layers of people. But those conversations are rare. Most people stay on the surface. And when your mind naturally dives deeper, you start feeling disconnected from the typical social groups. It's not that you don't want friendships. You just want real ones. And real connections are rare. So instead of surrounding yourself with dozens of shallow relationships, you wait patiently for one genuine one. 3. Your brain gets drained faster by social interaction. Another reason some people have fewer friends is something psychologists call high social sensitivity. Some brains process social environments much more intensely. When you're around people, you're not just listening to what they're saying. You're analyzing tone, reading facial expressions, picking up emotional signals, noticing tension in the room. Your brain is constantly processing information, and that takes energy, a lot of energy. While extroverts feel energized by social environments, people with sensitive nervous systems feel mentally drained. After spending time around people, they often need complete solitude to recover, not because they hate people, but because their brain simply works harder during interactions. Social energy is a limited resource for them, so they protect it carefully. 4. You're extremely independent. Many people who have few friends develop something powerful. They learn to rely on themselves. Psychology calls this low social dependency. It means you don't rely on constant validation from others. You don't need people around you just to feel okay. You can entertain yourself, think deeply, solve problems alone, build ideas in your own mind. Your inner world becomes rich, creative, comfortable. While many people fear being alone, you become familiar with it, and sometimes even prefer it. This independence can make you appear distant to others, but in reality, it's a sign of emotional strength, because your happiness doesn't depend on someone else's presence. 5. Your past experiences made you cautious. Many people who now keep their circles small have one thing in common. Something in their past changed the way they trust people. Maybe it was betrayal. Maybe it was childhood neglect. Maybe it was being surrounded by the wrong people. At some point, someone broke your trust. And psychology shows that when trust is broken deeply enough, the brain becomes protective, more observant, more selective. You start studying people before letting them into your life. You notice patterns. You test intentions. You watch how someone treats others before trusting how they treat you. Psychologists call this a trust threshold. And for you, that threshold became much higher. Not because you're cold, but because your mind learned to protect itself. If you have few or no friends, it doesn't automatically mean something is wrong with you. Sometimes it means something else entirely. It means your mind values authenticity over popularity, depth over surface, peace over noise, quality over quantity. And sometimes, the strongest minds spend seasons walking alone, not because they can't connect with others, but because they refuse to connect with the wrong people. And when the right people finally appear, those friendships tend to be deeper, stronger, and far more meaningful. If this video felt like it was describing you, then you're not alone. Psychology is finally starting to explain personalities that the world has misunderstood for years. So, if you want more videos that reveal the hidden psychology behind your personality, make sure you subscribe, because the next video might explain something about yourself that you've never been able to understand before.